Welcome to Heartmender with Brenda Ballantyne. Here's Brenda.
Here's a story. A couple gets together and they're having so much fun. They go out on a date. They're communicating about all the different things that they like and they dislike. And then something happens. The young man says something, and in the young girl's heart it was like, oh no, that didn't sound okay at all. Kind of like a little jab. And she's like, but I'm not going to say anything, you know? And then they start talking a little bit more, and things just start flowing, and she's thinking, I probably should have said something, but now we're both in really good moods and I don't want to blow it, right? And so they decide to get together, get married, and they're just having a wonderful time having this great relationship. But then he says some other things, another jab, and she's like, oh, and she knows it's not okay. But she's scared to say anything to him, and she waits. She'll wait till a better time. Well, things changed, and the next day things are going along really well. And so she's like, I don't want to blow it again by bringing that up. She puts it off. And pretty soon he says things over and over, and he has no idea it's bothering her because she didn't open her mouth, right? Why? There's the problem. Communication. Does communication have an impact on sex? It does, doesn't it? Because if you're not happy, it's very hard to have a genuine, good sexual relationship. But why would she put it off? Because of a fear. Fear? Yeah, procrastinating is fear. But she's afraid that perhaps if she says something, he will abandon her, reject her. Fear of loneliness. There's a lot of reasons why we don't communicate about things that bother us. But pretty soon, she realizes that that hot and heavy relationship that she was enjoying and their intimacy that they were both enjoying is not real. Why? Because she put off talking about the things that are bothering her. Many times we have things within us that will let us know that our boundaries are being crossed. We have internal boundaries and we have external boundaries. Those internal boundaries are the ones where when somebody says something to you, it just doesn't feel right. But sometimes we're afraid to communicate that. So we need to start getting really honest with ourselves. Recognizing when we feel certain things or when we think about certain things and we hear someone saying something and it just doesn't ring true. Are we bold enough to say, what does that mean? Or could you please clarify what you're saying? Or perhaps even say, that hurts my feelings. Does that have an impact on the relationship? Yes. Again, we will put off, procrastinate, addressing things to the point where, again, our hot and heavy relationship changes to cold as ice. And then what happens? Then we get accused of being cold. Now, this works for men as well as women, but it also impacts relationships. And so when it comes to the sexual relationship as well, it's very difficult to pretend or fake a relationship when your heart is not in it any longer. What do? What's the solution? Learning how to be honest with ourselves is step one. And sometimes being honest with ourselves may even require that we reach out and talk to somebody. Maybe we can't see. We all have blind spots. Others can see things about us that we can't see, and we can see things that they can't see. But when we can communicate with each other, then we can have some healing in our hearts, and we can have a trust that builds stronger and stronger. And then when we have the opportunity and the great intimacy that we desire, then we really know that we're being honest with ourselves and others. I hope you found this helpful. Until next time, bye-bye.